Late news tonight starts with breaking news from the nation's capital. A passenger plane collided with an Army helicopter tonight near Reagan International Airport. Just look at this. This is a live look at the scene. The American Airlines passenger jet collided with an Army Black Hawk helicopter. The plane was coming from Wichita, Kansas. It had 60 passengers and 4 crew members on board. The helicopter had 3 Army soldiers on board. Rescue efforts are happening as we speak on the Potomac River. Good evening. It is a heartbreaking tragedy. I'm Chris Thomas.
I'm Laura Painter. Right now, so many family and friends waiting in anguish tonight for answers. Tonight, we are hearing from a man whose wife was on that plane. But first, this video provided by EarthCam shows the moment of the crash. You can see when the aircraft collides, causing a big flash of light before pieces start to fall. Tonight, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the Army and Department of Defense has immediately launched an investigation.
And I want you to take a look. We do have new pictures just into the newsroom. You can see first responders surveying the damage as they work to try and rescue any possible survivors. And there are sadly deaths confirmed.
Tonight, emergency services officials say about 300 first responders are on scene in Washington, D.C. And the conditions are extremely rough for those responders with cold weather and intense wind. Reagan International Airport sits next to the Potomac River. Tonight, our sister station WUSA talked with a man waiting for his wife at the airport. He shared the last text his wife sent as he was waiting to hear from her again.
I'm just praying that somebody's pulling her out of the river right now as we speak. That's all I can pray for. I'm just praying to God.
When was the last time you spoke with her?
She texted me that they were landing in 20 minutes.
Just heartbreaking. The FAA says the plane was on approach to the airport, and officials say the helicopter was in the middle of a training flight. Zoreen Shah has more from Washington tonight.
This video live streamed from an EarthCam webcam shows the moment authorities say a passenger jet carrying 60 people collided with a military helicopter in midair at Washington, D.C.'s Reagan International Airport. The FAA says it happened around 9 p.m. Eastern while the plane was on approach to the airport. 2 U.S. officials confirmed the helicopter was a U.S. Army Black Hawk.
There are helicopters flying around all the time. Military helicopters, park police helicopters, security helicopters, private helicopters, but they're all supposed to stay down low. So if you've ever come in over the bridges that connect Washington with Virginia, you know that there are always helicopters flying quite low because they are staying below the airplanes that are landing at Reagan.
The aircraft went down in the Potomac River near the airport, and officials said search and rescue officials are on the scene. All takeoffs and landings to the airport have been halted. The White House says President Trump is aware of the situation and monitoring it. It's unclear what caused the incident. Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Again, the cause of that crash is under investigation, but serious questions are being raised tonight about air traffic safety.
Tonight, we talked with an aviation professor at Sacramento City College who's also a pilot. He talks about the concerns surrounding communication between aircraft. Take a listen.
American Eagle regional jet and the helicopter pilots should have all been on the same frequency, all talking to one another. There's a possibility because when you get just to the east of Reagan, there is a military airfield over there. And quite possibly they were taking off from there and hadn't established contact yet. But from what I understand, both airplanes were in contact and were getting instruction. The question is, were they all talking on the same frequency together? That still needs to be determined.
Miller says the plane will have a flight data recorder and a voice recorder in the cockpit. Both will play a big role in understanding any possible interactions between the pilots.
However, he says the Army Black Hawk helicopter doesn't have that type of equipment. Instead, investigators will examine switch positions to determine what was in use at the time of the crash.
And we do have continuing coverage on the ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. We're streaming the latest news conferences and updates live as they happen. The ABC 10 Plus streaming app is free to download on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, or wherever you stream on your TV.